Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope your week is going as smoothly and just as you planned it. And what's better than yesterday? It's a new day because it gives you that calm breeze and assurance into the future and its possibilities. I welcome you to Ways Breakfast, hashtag what are you saying? And today, more than ever, I want to hear what you're saying, your thoughts, and everything put together. On this show, we talk the good, the bad, the ugly, and one thing is for sure, we bring it to you fresh from the oven and as it hot. And speaking of that, how many people know what it entails to succeed in the entertainment industry? Many of us don't know, but guess what? We have an expert guest who will be joining us shortly, and I can't wait for you all to meet him. Well, of course, you know I'm your one and only Omenka Oluchi Precious, captaining the ship today. And of course, I'm sharing this luxury life with my ladies. God's Beauty Israel on the table now. And Okikiola will join us later. Good morning, Lady Vibe.
Good morning. How are you?
It's a very cold morning, honestly.
Yes, it is. My kind of weather. I love it.
Your kind of weather.
Yes, now. Everywhere is cold, everywhere is calm. So you prefer sun?
I don't like it either. I prefer a warm weather. We don't have to go to the extremes.
Wait, you're supposed to be either hot or cold. You can't be in between. To the likes of young me, you can't be in between.
I want to be in the middle, but starting out this morning, I was so surprised to see the rain because I woke up like, that jerk waking up. Like, oh, I have to be at work this morning. And then I was hearing, drizzles outside. I'm like, what is this? They're trying to get bus again was another hustle. Because many times, I don't know how the streets of Lagos work.
Yeah.
When there's rain, buses,
you hardly see
they go to hide.
Yeah. Because some of those buses are not very strong enough for them to, be in the rain.
Be in the rain, that's another problem. And sometimes the road can be bad as well. So they're trying to avoid all of that. But I'm glad I'm here. And I'm sure this is one of the reasons why Kiki isn't here, but she'll join us shortly. Today's conversation is quite interesting. It's a unique one. We've not had a discussion like this in a very long time. The entertainment industry. And, we have an expert guest, someone who is actively involved in that industry to let us in. So this is something that will appeal to every young person out there, and we implore you to be part of our conversation. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look to the headlines today across all of our papers, so please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is how we do it on Ways Breakfast. As I mentioned earlier, you are the main ingredient in this conversation. Thursdays are usually about trending social discussion, and today is one for you to stick around. Right now, we're going to be looking through the headlines across the globe. We have the Nigerian papers and, of course, the international papers. And God's Beauty will start the conversation.
All right, I will guide you guys through the Guardian newspaper internationally. And by the top left, we have there, how long will it be before Melania steps aside from Malan AI? Then at the top right, we have United States Federal Court blocks Trump from imposing sweeping tariff. Then the main cover story, which is at the center page, we have Trump laments size of much too big, in quote, airline gifted by Qatar. So I think it's important for us to highlight the headline at the top right and the one at the main cover story. So I'll start with the one at the top right, which is the United States Federal Court blocks Trump from imposing sweeping tariff. So President Donald Trump, let's start with the fact that, before yesterday, we are talking about the tariff that, President Trump is planning to impose on the European Union. That's the countries in in Europe, right? And right now, we have the United States court has, come out to stop him, saying that he doesn't have the power to do that without going through the proper legal process. You see why I tell you that? I really don't like somehow they make you feel like for every time Trump has something to say, they also have something to say. And this is where you'd actually see check and balance play out in itself. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, for every time that Trump has something to say, even most of the times he's not even doing it the right way. You see them come out to tell him that, Oga, you're not following the right, the right channel, the right place, and you need to, turn back or find the right place to go through it. And honestly speaking, they are so right. And I just wish that we see things like this here in Nigeria. I've said it so many times. I mean, let me read out further. And it says that the ruling is important because it means one person, that's the president, can't make big economic decisions alone, especially the decisions that affect global trade, prices of things, we buy in the country, diplomatic relationship with United States allies. And it also matters politically because Trump was using this tariff to push his trade ideas ahead of the 2026 elections, which is actually very true because the elections coming up next year is a midterm election where all of the governors, mayors, some of those individuals, state legislatures will be voted in. So I mean, I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why he's doing all of these things. But the fact that we can see the United States courts working, we see their progress for every time. Sometimes I also want to think that are these ones that any time that Trump has something to say, they always have something to say as well. It's giving probably they are not fans of Trump. I mean, that's what any layman would actually, think of. Probably these people are not in alignment. But really, I think for me, it's them doing their job. And I love it. And I just hope that we'll see things like this here in Nigeria. Now, still on Trump issue, we have here Trump laments size of much too big airplane gifted by Qatar. So it's this story. I actually think it's a very funny one, honestly speaking. Let me read out the details I have here. And it says Trump received a huge luxury airplane from the government of Qatar. But instead of celebrating it, he's complaining that it's too big for his personal use. Quote that, for his personal use. It's too big for his personal use. But though Trump claims the jet was gifted to the United States, not to him personally. No, if you say a particular jet is gifted to not you, but the United States, do you understand? Then why are you complaining that that particular jet is too big for your personal use? I mean, it's raising questions. Okay. And for Qatar government to give you a jet, there must be a relationship between Qatar and the United States. Do you understand? So we are yet to know what exactly is going on. And that's something everybody is asking the United States.
Maybe he's saying that the jet was given to his office, not necessarily him as a person. So maybe when he leaves that office, that jet will still be for the next president who will be there.
But then we need to also understand why exactly they are doing that. Nobody wakes up one morning. Imagine your president, for example, decides to give, Trump something. There must be, a background to it. So they must, must have a relationship.
International relations.
That we know, I hear, but there's something fishy going on that,
I don't think we necessarily have to paint fishy things when
every time when it comes to Trump.
Why not?
Okay.
I mean, do you know who Donald Trump is? He's the president of the United States of America. Who wouldn't want to be in his good books in that sense? Me, if I can give him something sad to appreciate. I would, but I don't think we should necessarily paint something fishy. It's just a goodwill. That's how I'm going to say it. And I'm sure other presidents in other nations have received gifts. This one just made it to the headlines.
Right,
and because he has had backstories of different things. We're raising our eyebrows as we usually do. But
well, I just feel like, one thing about time will actually tell for everything. I mean, for now, let's agree with what Oluchi has to say. But, with time, everything go shell, everything go come aside. We know what exactly is going on. But yeah, that's all I have for you on the Guardian newspaper.
Interesting. And I think it was really an amazing one. I want to start hearing different things in the international papers. I'm tired of hearing Trump, Ukraine, Russia all the time.
Sorry.
Like, aren't there other countries that are doing other things? It's becoming amazing. But let me take you through the Nigerian papers. Nothing much as well, but still significant enough for us to talk about. We have the Punch reading. Well, let me start with the Tribune papers first. Nigerian Tribune has its major headline saying second anniversary, Tinubu declares economic reforms working. It says only alternative to reform was fiscal collapse, reaffirms commitment to security, national development, and highlights progress made and the rising cost of living. Emefiele appeals final forfeiture order on 753 housing unit estate. Affair on Thursday, parliamentary power versus executive outreach, global examples and Nigeria contracts. And yeah, so there's a big, how do I explain this now? But we're seeing the picture of the president and some things that are here. So it says over 900,000 beneficiaries of presidential loan and grant scheme. I think it's almost highlighting, you know, his success so far ever since he got into power 2 years now. It says over 300,000 beneficiaries of student loan scheme, over $10 billion FX debt cleared, over 440 ongoing road projects, including over 2,700 kilometers of superhighways, 3.84% GDP growth in Q4 2024, which is the highest in 3 years, 70,000 minimum wage payments, over 13,500 terrorists eliminated, and over $50 billion in new FDI commitment. We also see net foreign exchange reserves up from $3.99 billion to $23.11 billion in 2024. We also see over $8 billion in new oil and gas investment unlocked, 4 new landmarks in tax bills, 5 new regional development commission, and over $800 million realized in processing investment in solid minerals in 2024. And it looks beautiful when you look at it this way. But I have questions, right? And I'm just excited that there are some things to highlight. I mean, if it's always good to evaluate, you know, your stay in a place, even us as individuals.
Yeah.
If you have worked somewhere for some time, you should ask questions. How much of an impact have I been here?
Yeah.
What have I really done? And it's not just good to highlight the impact. You also weigh it with what went wrong as well. Because sometimes the impact can look all glamorous, as if something really went great. But then when we compare it with what went bad, it's almost as if the impact seems insignificant in that sense. And I don't know if that's the case, because we had a lot of things lined up, from the student loan to minimum wage to some of the debts being cleared, even though we saw yesterday that some debts are coming in the future. It's so funny, honestly.
God.
But it's still, you see a bit of, let's just rejoice with what we have at the moment, that we've cleared some, and hopefully when it's time to clear that one, we'll be able to. But it makes a lot of sense. And the one that really catches my interest a lot is the educational system. I'm really happy with the... If there's anything I'm going to appreciate the president for, is that student loan stuff, honestly. I would say that at first I thought it wasn't going to really be a success, but the fact that I've seen people firsthand that have been beneficiaries of this and are super grateful, you know, it makes me a bit excited that, okay, this is something that can work.
Yeah.
But I got discouraged again. Why? When we start hearing of embezzlement funds, embezzlement activities, and, you know, the solution to this is to ensure that maybe these funds go directly to the students instead of the whole protocols and, you know, bureaucracies, and we hope that's better. But let me read the broadcasts that our president did make yesterday, I guess. He said President Bola Tinubu, in a nationwide broadcast to mark his second year in office on Thursday, declared that the economic reforms implemented by his administration have begun yielding positive results. The president stated that Nigeria is on course to building a greater, more economically stable nation, despite acknowledged difficulties faced by citizens due to the reform process. In a wide-ranging address from Lagos, President Tinubu reflected on his administration achievement and laid out his vision for continued national renewal under the Renewed Hope agenda. And President Tinubu reaffirmed that the removal of fuel subsidies and the unification of the foreign exchange market were critical first steps taken to save Nigeria from a looming fiscal disaster. It was apparent that if the federal government and the 2 tiers of government must remain viable and cater to the citizens' welfare, we must do away with decades-long fuel subsidies and the corruption leading multiple foreign exchange windows, he said. According to him, these painful yet necessary decisions have started bearing fruit. He cited a sharp drop in the fiscal deficit from 5.4% of GDP in 2023 to 3.0% in 2024, alongside improvement in foreign reserves, which rose from $4 billion in 2023 to over $23 billion by the end of 2024. And that's really amazing. How do I put it now? So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's reforms, when he came in at first, almost seemed as though this is not going to really bear fruit as we think, because we know where we're coming from. Do you understand? It's giving me the story of, you know, the Israelites and Moses. The Israelites living in Egypt, and Moses is telling them, we're doing this. You know, sometimes the leader can have a vision that the followers cannot see clearly. They don't really understand. And it seems as though that if I start this, we might have to suffer at first, though. But at the end of the day, we might see progress, you know, following it. So I think this is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to paint, that though he's not going to deny that it was difficult at first when, you know, the whole first subsidy was going to start and everything, and people had their criticisms and comments, but now we're seeing that there's a bit of progress, and I wonder if everybody can attest to this progress, or if just some people that can attest to it. Is it a wholesome testimony in that sense, or it's coming from some people? But at the end of the day, I mean, it's 2 years. We have 2 more years to come. And the way it's looking like 2027 is, I mean, 2027 is looking like a second term. I saw one video that was really, how will I say it? Some governors and ex-governors and some people are really taking 2027 elections very seriously. So this Governor Alex Otti, I don't know if he's the one, but one of these governors in the East, he was wearing a cloth, a red, Orji Kalu, yes, I've gotten the name. He was wearing a red cloth or so, and it had the inscription President Tinubu for 2027. I'm like, this is some big time campaign, and 2027 isn't even very close.
I mean,
so it shows that most likely we might have a rerun, you know, of our present, you know, administration. And I don't want to say much about that yet first, but we've gone past 2 years, and I want to ask you, God's Beauty. Looking at the last 2 years, what do you think is your own overview of it, regardless of what, you know, the papers have to paint?
I feel like when you read all of these things, right, I would not say that there's really no impact, you know, from this current administration. But I would say that most of the times, what we actually need as Nigerians is not all of these plenty words. Because to be honest, I mean, it's one thing to say you've done all of these things, but the real issue that we are always complaining about here in Nigeria, we're not seeing anything resolved. Is it insecurity? Is it poverty? Is it? I mean, there's a lot really going on. The problems are. I'm very sure if we start writing it down, we'll not finish it today. So you get what I'm saying. So until we are able to see all of those things that we have always, you know, complained about, I think from the electricity angle, I think there's a bit of, I don't know. There's more. I mean, I see more of lights, but even though like the bills are a lot, I mean, both those that are in band A and the rest of the bands, we keep complaining of how expensive it is. But I feel like to some extent there's always lights. I don't know if it's a me thing, but I mean, in my area we've been having lights for quite some time now. So I would say that's one of the impacts I've seen, because I mean, we've always been complaining about the fact that there's no lights. I mean, for every time. It's for some weeks you can stay for some weeks. There's no lights. Then when there's lights, so thanking God that finally they remembered us. But I don't think we've had any of those, you know, those kind of stories in a while, right? Given I mean, some of those companies are doing so well. The bodies that, you know, ensure that, I mean, the likes of this course and all, they're ensuring that, you know, we see lights regularly. Like I said, even though the bill is too much, do you get? But I think that's one positive thing that have come with, you know, this current administration. Yeah. But then there's still other things that we keep complaining about, like the fact of, you know, the likes of like food, how things have increased. For every time that spaghetti is this price, the next minute you go in, they have added 25 naira or they have added 15 naira, and it keeps going like that. So we need to see a bit of change, you know, from that. And this,
we need to see a balanced change. I
think
that's what I would say, because to some people,
true.
They're just going through it, and to some people it's hitting them really badly. What other sector do you think that, you know, the present administration need to focus on in this next 2 years?
Health. For every time, I mean, I'm more concerned about what exactly is going on, you know, with the health sector. We know that there's, you know, certain amounts that have been put in. I mean, we've seen the likes of NAFDAC, the likes of NDLEA do good jobs, you know, ensuring that bad drugs, fake drugs, you know, doesn't circulate around. So that's good, but then we need to see more. Do you understand? We need to see more of, you know, I mean, there was the time a Aproko doctor complained about some rural areas where, you know, they don't have hospitals. I mean, in the back of my head, I'm always concerned, why exactly are we even having rural areas? Permit me, because I feel like we are supposed to ensure that everybody is, you know, carried along. We are supposed to have passed, even though I feel like, I mean, it's not looking very feasible at the moment, but we can start from somewhere. Do you understand? All of those areas where they lack education, they lack health facilities and all of that. That's what we need to start taking care of. Yeah, that's what we need to start ensuring that, you know, it's part of the book. We need to, you know, start taking care of those places. Not every time that we'll having a conversation. I mean, even the examination stuff that we had recently. We still had some, you know, people saying that in some areas they don't have computers and all of those things, they don't have access to it. How can they not have access to it for a country that is developing? Exactly. These are questions that we need to ask ourselves. So those are part of the things that needs to be taken care of. We need to ensure that all of those things are worked on. So for these 2 years coming, please, some of these things I have highlighted are things that I think they need to, reconsider and work on.
Yeah, so I would say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has really thrived amidst the criticisms, heavy criticisms, and different things that came at him when he started this administration. But I actually believe that there can be more.
Yeah.
And one thing that comes to mind very strongly would be concentration at the grassroots, because sometimes I've said it a lot on this table. We focus a lot at that level, what they're doing at the Aso Rock and everything. But sometimes if you look at basic healthcare facilities, right? Sometimes it's even the duty and responsibility of that local government.
Yeah, sure.
And I've heard many times how some of these people get certain money. They disburse this money to them. But you've also mentioned transparency and accountability problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem from this level as well. So sometimes we like to point fingers at the head, but the middle, many times they have problems that make it look like the head isn't doing anything.
Yeah,
so what would the head now do to make it better, to ensure that they really scrutinize the people at these places that have the first-hand reach to these average citizens? Because if you look at healthcare, it's local government that should even be at the forefront to ensuring that we have good healthcare system. But check around your local government areas. There was a time I was terribly sick and someone had to take me from my house to a particular healthcare center. When I got to this primary healthcare center, I knew that there's nothing that can be done here. I had to go to a private hospital. Do you understand? But yet there's a local government chairman in that place. I'm not going to mention the place. So what's the local government chairman doing? The money that they are disbursing to them, what are you using it for? So this 2-year administration and a reflection of what has been done so far, it's not a reflection from the top only. I want us to see a reflection across board. That's how we're going to have a holistic nation that is really working. Do you understand? And also, I'd like to point out that we should start looking at other ways to generate revenue as a nation. We've noticed that we've been borrowing money a lot, paying money. It's not sustainable. Even though they always tell you that the rich still have debt, they still borrow money. That's how to make more money. But how about we look at ways to also improve our revenue? There are different areas, different sectors that we can start exploring. I mean, we should have more collaboration with private sectors. We've had conversations on this table, private and public sectors. Maybe it's like this, but if it can be better, we can see progress across board. Other industries that are untouched, the entertainment industry, the government should start focusing on it. Don't leave it for only private sector. I think we can generate great revenue from it. Tourism industry, I've mentioned many times. Education, innovation. Is it not on Friday we're talking about one new S2W goal stuff?
Yes.
Let's have more initiatives like that, but intentional initiatives. And we'll see that instead of just focusing on oil and, agriculture, we can actually make great progress as a nation. And my last thought is that as we reflect on this past 2 years, I don't want it to just be a reflection from the top only, but also as individuals and citizens. How have you been as a citizen? Would you say you've been patriotic so far? Would you say you've been a citizen that have your nation at heart? Because it's easy to point that, look at the nation, it's not even befitting enough for me to carry out my responsibilities. But there's still something you can do to be a better citizen. At your workplace, you can represent the nation in that sense. How? By being a good colleague at, in the family, at school, even abroad, where we have people that go for short-term, maybe education for learning, and they come back. We can be good citizens, paying our taxes, orderliness, living good amongst neighbors is also a time for us to reflect. So it's a deep time reflection, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. So let's see how the next 2 years will be, and cheers to a greater Nigeria. So God's Beauty has a shout out, and let's have it.
Yes. Happy birthday to my father.
Whoa. Make some noise.
I mean, do you know what it is to... I don't even know where to start from if I'm to give, a long shot to this, but I mean, he has been very... he has been a lot. He's been my friend. He's still my friend.
I love it.
Even though we hardly talk, he's a very strict person sometimes. But yeah, happy birthday to you. I don't think that I would be this perfect. I don't think I would be this strong. I don't think that I would have the power to be able to do things, push mountains, shake off things,
Hallelujah.
without your help, without your assistance, without your guidance. So happy birthday to you, Papa. I mean, one of the reasons I call him Papa is because I believe that, you know, he's different from all fathers. I'm so sorry, but that's how, you know, that's how I feel. And that's why from initials, we've always called my mom and dad Papa and Mama. Say, yes, happy birthday to you, Papa, once again. Don't worry, I called you this morning. I'm still going to call you to the rest of, I mean, today's your day. Enjoy it.
I love this. I love
happy
this.
birthday again to you,
Happy
Papa.
birthday, God's beauty dad. And I would say, I really don't know you, but I can see your product and I can say that you have been a great father because you have raised a very confident lady.
Yes.
God's beauty is one of the most confident ladies I've ever seen in this lifetime. So great job as a parent, and I wish you many more years in fruitfulness and happiness. All right, this is where we take a short break. We'll come back with another conversation before our hot topic. Today is really full, so you don't want to go anywhere. Be with us and we'll be right back shortly.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
All right, welcome and thank you for joining us. Today we're exploring the entertainment industry, and initially wanted to look at, well, we're also going to do that, the impact of family and relationship in, entertainment industry. But we cannot but talk about something that is really trending. I mean, yesterday we saw a viral video from a popular Afrobeat musician, Speak Darlington, right? And it has caused a lot of people to have comments on this particular video. So it was alleged that he had sexual intercourse, intimacy with a 15-year-old girl, and he came out to actually, I've forgotten how the details of that particular video, but he came out to, to admit to it, and even mentioned giving this 2,000 naira, maybe whether to the hotel, people to clear the shit and everything.
Okay.
But the highlight of that story is that an Afrobeat musician is supposed to be an example in that sense in the entertainment industry, seen in an, how would I put it, unprecedented, improper, inappropriate sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl who is going to be regarded as a minor in that sense because she's not an adult. An adult starts from 18 years old. So what are your thoughts about this God's beauty?
So first off, right, I would quote something that DJ Big N said, which is, it's time for us to actually be intentional about who we make famous. Because yes, we actually the ones that make these people, famous to some extent. It's one thing to always put out right from beginning. First of all, I've never found that guy funny. I don't see the impact that guy is making in any way. I don't follow him. I don't listen to him. I don't listen to his music. Because then if we are very conscious about the kind of people that we listen to, what exactly we listen to, the impact the person is making to the society, I'm very sure that we're able to, pick who we want famous and who we don't want
famous.
Who we would follow, who would want to talk about and who would not want to talk about. Do you understand? I understand that over the years, I mean, anybody that comes to sing a very funny kind of song and give you good sounds, you want to celebrate that person. I think it's time for it. I think this particular story is a wake-up call for everybody to actually know and be cautious of who exactly we are listening to. Like I said, I don't listen to this guy. Do you understand? Because I've never find him funny. The only thing that I've heard people always talk about or emphasize on is one of his songs, that then you would actually know that I don't know the song because I've not listened to it. I'm always very cautious about what exactly comes, passes through my ears because, whatever that you listen to is what you, at the end of the day, start exhibiting, is what you start carrying out, what you start saying. So I'm always very sure, I'm always very concerned, I'm always very conscious of what I hear, what I listen to.
Thank you, God's Beauty. So we're going to not make this very long. Maybe we'll have this conversation some other time. But before we usher in our guests in the entertainment industry to talk about something quite different, we felt it was necessary to highlight this particular challenge and to make it known to the public that certain things should not just be swept away. Somebody has come out to make a claim. Being in a sexual relationship with a minor should not just be for controversies or for cruise, but we should see people actually serving their time when they do things that are wrong. And this is my whole stance in this whole story. And thank you, God's Beauty, for saying that we should stop making certain people celebrities. We are the ones endorsing them. When we keep liking their videos, commenting, being their fan, they see there's something worth building in this place, and they're building trash. I'm going to use that word unapologetically. It's a very sad story. It's an annoying story, and it pains me very deeply. And I really hope that they get to the root of this issue. They investigate the matter. Because it's possible he can come out to say there was consent.
No. When he came out to now tell us that, he was just joking, it's PR. He was doing it so that he can eat. That he dropped one song, and I dropped one song so that people can go and listen to it and all.
That's not enough for us. We were going to investigate it to find out if it was actually PR or it was really done, and to ensure that things are going orderly in that industry. But of course, we're having something different in our hot topic today, and we're going to another short break. When we return, we'll usher in our guest, Okikiola Taiwo Jalopon, for our hot topic conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. from relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria. We will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve.
Welcome back, our valued viewers. Well, today's conversation is in the entertainment industry, and we want to discuss balancing business and family in the entertainment industry. As we all know, the entertainment industry is known for its fast-paced and unpredictable nature, making it challenging to balance work and family life. But today, we're going to dive into the strategies and techniques that can help you achieve a better balance between your business and family responsibilities. Joining me in the studio is Stephen Nana, aka Stephen Nator, a renowned expert in the entertainment industry with valuable insight on balancing business and family responsibilities. Stephen Nana, aka Stephen Nator, is recognized as an entertainment manager, and his work in the industry has earned him a nomination for Entertainment Manager of the Year at the Africa Entertainment Awards USA in 2023. He's a man of many capes and talents, and one of his many feats was in managing the popular music sensation Asake, aka Mr. Money. On social media, he's fondly called the 100-figure manager, known for managing Asake, making solid music, and sold-out concerts. We'll be discussing these topics such as time management, family support, industry-specific challenges, self-care, and entrepreneurial insight. Of course, on this table, we have a special guest as well, Okikiola Taiwo Jalupon, joining us all the way from the United States of America. Make some noise.
Are you sure the United States of America be a Sabah? Let's be sure.
With this glow, it can't be Lagos.
True.
Lagos will humble you.
We're glad to have you here, Kiki, and we're glad to have you here, Stephen, as well. We want to talk about this industry.
Yeah,
we're really out of time. So I'm sad that we have such a short time to discuss this, but as much as we can, we'll open it up. So let's start firstly. Can you tell us a bit about your journey into this industry and the challenges so far?
So it started, I mean, I would call it a miracle how I started. You know, Olamide just called me one day and said, yo, I have an artist and I would like you to manage him. And that was the first time I was going into management. It's not like I had prior understanding of how it's done and all of that. You know, me and Olamide, we've been friends for 15, 20 years. So I managed a TV station back in the day, and then he was like, bro, I think you'll be the guy to handle this ball. Why don't you come through? I went to the studio, I met Asake, he was recording. That was the first time I was meeting him. I never heard the song before, and I didn't know anything about him. And we kind of connected, we spoke, and then I went back home, did some research about management, and boom, with Olamide by my side, it was a walk in the park. But I kind of learned the job on the job, if you know what it meant. And if you know, Ashake blew up so quickly that there was no time to learn. So it was just, back to back, back to back, back to back. And to God be the glory, we did all the venues in the world. We traveled everywhere, did everything together. And for challenges, it was my family, At the time, I had 2 sons. Yeah, and I didn't have time to spend with them. It was crazy. It was, I don't even know how to explain it. Understanding the fact that I'm a family guy and not being able to be there for my family, but then I still have to make money so they can live a better life. It was a lot, but I mean, I was able to scale through. Yeah.
So I like your end point because I want to ask my question on that. Now, based on the topic, because we are trying to talk about how to balance both your business and at the same time your personal life. That's your family and all of that. So I'm very sure by now you're probably able to create a balance, right? So tell me how you're able to, so that people listening will be able to do that as well. I mean, and also tell me, because I love Ashake a lot. I mean, for those that know, my love for Afrobeats is a lot, right? So tell me, how was it like even having to manage someone like Ashake?
So managing Ashake is it's a blessing. It's something I never thought I would ever do in my life. I mean, going to that level of management, getting to be in rooms with people that I thought I would never even see, or people who only see on television and stuff. But managing Ashake put me in a position where it was very, very tough to make decisions. At the same time, it was very easy to make decisions, if you understand what I mean.
Yes, I got
you. And sometimes we're on the road 5 months, 6 months, and what have you. I'm always on the phone with my kids. My first son bonded with me quite all right before I got the job, but my second son didn't get the chance to, enjoy daddy's being around and all that. And while I was chasing money, while I thought I was trying to get my family a better life, it was deteriorating on my family. There was one time I came back home and I discovered that my wife had turned to a man, if you understand what I mean. Now, this is it. She had to scream her way to get things done. She can call an artisan now, come fix, maybe Bob is not working in the house. And then they come to that, they say, okay, the fee is 5,000. Oh, no problem, come. They come, they see the house, the mansion, and then they're saying, no, it's 25,000. And she's like, what do you mean? And then she having to deal with boys. It's a lot. So she, without knowing, she became a man. And when I came back, I see all these things. I don't stay for long. Sometimes the most I'll stay is 5 days. It was crazy. And one time Ashake was like, bro, why don't you tell your family to come meet you? We're in London, and then they came to London, and my son refused me to carry him because he doesn't know me.
Wow.
He was like, no, I don't know you.
One big task.
Yeah, and that just made me rethink my options, and I'm like, what am I really doing? Yeah, so that kind of helped me. And while we're in America, Ashake was like, no, I want to stay in America. I'm like, bro, I can't. I've made a lot of money. I'm already the 100-figure manager. Yeah, my life is already, and this year, I told him, I was like, bro, I want to go back home. I mean, it's 20 friends don't play for 20 years. I'm not greedy. This is not, it was given to me. Let another person come enjoy. I mean, you want to stay abroad? Me, I have a family. I want to come back home. So for me to be able to balance work and family, I had to step down my house. Now I have a new artist I'm working with, someone I can control. Ashake became way too big. Like, I can't say I can't be at certain places, you know what I mean? I have to be there with him. If he's going somewhere, I have to be there with him. But with this new guy I'm working with, I can always say, yo, you go do that for me. I want to be with my family. And if you check it, every opportunity I get, I post my kids. My friends are telling me.
Then when I went on your social media,
my friends told me that Children's Day was more of me than my kids. It's because I'm trying to build lost times.
Yes.
One of the things I would never get back is the fact that my gate man taught my son how to ride a bike. I can never get that.
You didn't teach your son how to ride a bike? That's like
it.
a sacrilege.
you get it. So
it.
I don't want to leave any stone unturned.
I get it. As much as milestones might be lost, I think one thing that I believe, I work with children, I run an NGO, so I believe that one of the things that children eventually get is the fact that you were there at some point in time. So I'm sure if your son is watching or listening, you know that that lost time will be gotten back. But you've highlighted a lot of challenges, especially on the family side. And I think that's a lot of things that people don't see when it comes to artist management. But do you think that you made the complete, like, right decision to have left or parted ways? Or maybe there were other things that contributed to that, or it was just strictly family for you?
For me, it was strictly family. You know, I'm approaching 40. And God has blessed me. I'm not, my friends say it all the time, I mean, I'm not the guy that would die on something. I quit easily. It's me. I'm not the type that would say, oh, I'm scared, keep going. No. Once it's not working for me, once it's not meeting my values anymore, I just walk away. And when he said he wants to be in the American market, he wants to break in the American market, and then I weighed my options. If I'm bringing my family over here, this is going to cost me. And my first son is stubborn. And America is not where you want to raise your kids not being present. You know, so I weighed my options and I thought about it. I'm like, what does it profit a man at the end of the day to lose, you know? So, yeah. So it's not like there was a quarrel or there was whatever. We're still cool. He's still my guy, his brother till death, you know? But my values and what I believe in is not going to be what I'll be doing. And that will make me an unhappy manager. And when I'm unhappy, the business, of course. Yeah.
You know what I see from this conversation is that at the core, you're a relationship person. Because even starting to work with Asake was based on the relationship you had with someone. I think our viewers should really pick this because we're in a world where people have mixed what networking and opportunities mean, and you know they let certain opportunities pass by. But it's really amazing and commendable that from a proper relationship you were able to build something big, and you went back to a relationship that meant the world to you in that sense.
It is the biggest currency in the world.
Interesting. That's amazing. So, are you ready? Do you take mentors or be mentees? But I'd like to ask, because we're running out of time, but we want to get everything that Stevie Nator has for us. What's the next thing for you now? What should we be expecting from you?
Yeah, so I have a management company now. I mean, with the wealth of knowledge that I have, it's only fair that I give back to certain people. I've got connections in the country and outside the country. So right now I'm helping artists to break into the international market, or not necessarily the international market. Nigerians in diaspora, you know, those guys, they long for home-cooked music and stuff. So since I have to connect with Asake, I've been able to build sort of network. So right now I'm like the middleman between the Nigerian Afrobeat market and the Africans in diaspora. So that's what I'm currently working on. And I just signed a new boy. He's fire, trust me. And I'm also working with DJ Lambo. So yeah, basically I'm just doing stuff that I can control right now. Things that I can, you know, say, you know what, I don't want to go to work today. I want to be home, you know. No.
We had a conversation before you came up here, and I do not know if this will be putting you on the spot, but I'd like to hear your thoughts about it, seeing that you're in the industry as well. And that's the viral video of Speed Darlington, you know, allegedly having a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old minor, who later came up to say that it was all about PR and, you know, for controversies and buzz, so that maybe it's going to be on the lips of everyone. And I'm looking at that industry, and I think it's a pattern. We see it a lot of times, you know, different artists come up with different stories and
but they say that, but sometimes when you cross the line, it's a law. If he said he had sex with maybe an adult, 21, 22, it'd be all right. But I mean, saying minor, number one, it says how much of an illiterate you are, firstly. Then secondly, it's, let me know.
You don't want to talk so much.
It's not something to joke about. It's too vulgar to joke about stuff like that.
I agree, actually. I want to ask this, right? There's this belief system that if you leave your career and you go for family, that your career will not strive like it should be, right? Yeah. Now, I'll give 2 examples. We've had Shola Shobowale, that's the woman with King of Boys.
Yes.
And I mean, there's a time where she had to step down and take care of her children before she came to the limelight and all of that. And yeah, she has been able to make name for herself, but then there's still that comparison of people that she started with she's not in the same level with them. Now let's also give an example of Annie Dibia. We all know the story of how she was with Two-Face, you know, from the beginning. She left her career, having to take care of family, and right now it's now that she wants to start building a career, and not many persons even know her. There are people that don't even know she's an actor. You get what I'm saying? So now I want you to tell me, what exactly do you think people should do? I mean, young people coming up, young professionals should do to ensure, how do they even weigh their options? I mean, it's easy for you because you've made money eventually. So are you saying now, I mean, from your story now, what message would you want to pass out to people? Because literally that's what, you know, today's conversation is about.
Yeah, so I'll say this here. Whatever you do, try not to lose yourself.
I like that.
Because in the end, the money won't really matter. You know, when we started, I say it all the time, when we started, it was beautiful. We were doing first class, business class. It was beautiful in the air. And we're like, oh, if we started flying private jets, it would be better. We started flying private jets. Oh, it was amazing. But after a while, it became our nightmare. What do I mean? We're sleeping, and then we have to do a 14-hour trip to go do a show of maybe an hour, and then we're doing another 14 hours back. Now, it wasn't fun anymore. The body was beginning to tell. So in all that, you know, I kind of lost it, you know. Those things that I thought I had didn't mean anything anymore. The money in the bank didn't mean anything anymore. The fact that my son, you know, riding a bicycle from my gate man, all the money that he doesn't have 1 or 5% of what I have, but he did something that I could have done, you know. So, and when you tell people, they would never know. But I pray everyone gets the money that they look for, and then you would really understand. You know, there's this adage in Pidgin, they know the tell person. You get me? So it is until you get to that level, that's when you truly understand. So in all of this, don't lose yourself. If you think that family is all you've got, go for it. If you think you want to chase your career, go for it. If that's what's going to give you happiness, go for it. Because there are people that they give birth to children and then in the end they have this postpartum stress and all that. If career will take your mind off it, go for it. You know. So my word for you would be, don't lose yourself. Whatever works for you, understand yourself. Take time to study yourself. Know what works for you. Am I a family person? Am I a career-chasing person? Because if you chase the career, you'll be able to take care of your family. If you leave your family, you might not have time to take care. So you have to sit down and understand yourself and boom. Yeah.
Amazing. We're wrapping up the conversation very soon, like right now. But in 1 minute, our audiences and viewers would like to hear something fun from you. So tell us one of your most craziest moments on tour or during a promo run or something fun about Asake. Let's get to.
I mean,
about
him.
About you two.
Yes, of course.
Fun thing about me. I think I play a lot of video games.
Oh, okay.
That's fun, right?
It is fun.
Yeah, not for my wife too.
Not for a lot of ladies, because when men play video games, they're usually so engrossed in it and they don't pay attention to us. So maybe that's why it's not going to be fun.
I play a lot of video games, but then it saves me from a lot as well. You know, the lifestyle, the kind of life we live is crazy. You know, the women we see on TV, they are, you know, some lady once told me to. She wants to take a picture with Asake. She's going to pay me $10,000. That's how crazy people are, you know. But when I play video games, I'm in myself. I don't have time to have such conversations. I'm a family man, and I love my wife. I love you, baby.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're wrapping up the show now. Thank you so much, Stevie Nater, for joining us. We want to have you again because this time we had wasn't so sufficient, you know, to take all the gems from you. So we're hoping we'll have you again.
Of course, I'll be here.
All right. Fingers crossed. Thank you to our viewers as well for joining us in this conversation from beginning till now. Tomorrow is our book review segment. You do not want to miss this for anything. So catch you again 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. and sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV to interact with us further. Bye.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?